Good evening, friends. How's everybody doing? It is Saturday night. What's up, Steven? How the heck are you? Oh, look at there. There's already 3 people here. Oh, so, excuse me, goodness. It actually is cold down here. My phone says well, at 7:30 it was 37 degrees. We're supposed to be down in the 20s tonight down here. It is now 30 degrees. Whopping 30 degrees. I've been freezing all day. Supposed to be like 23 or something stupid like that tonight. It'll be cold. Let's see. They're saying 25 for a low. So yeah, it's it'll be cold the next couple of nights. It's supposed to be 23 tomorrow night. Or tomorrow night, Sunday night. Then we're actually supposed to get a wee bit of a warm up. Supposed to be back up in the 80s for high next Thursday with some rain coming in. So it's crazy weather. I did get my mob cut, Steven. I'm doing fantastic, by the way. Yeah, what little hair I have left. It's pretty thin, but it's still there. So, hey, we'll go with it. So, I made it to a whopping 2,400 subscribers. I couldn't believe it. And YouTube says that I've made a milestone where I've had 30,000 watch hours. I guess they call that a milestone. I'm pretty impressed. But you know what? It's going on 3 years now. I've been doing YouTube and I'm only at 2,400 subscribers. I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than the fact that I stink at it. I watch some of these other people do some of the stupidest crap, and they get so many stinking subscribers, it's just unreal. Maybe not the subscribers isn't much to it, but I'd like to get enough to where I can get noticed or something like that, and maybe one of these companies will pick me up, and I'll be able to move on with the thing. I'd really like to get to the point where this might, somehow, some way could be a sole income. Because I think my days of turning wrenches for a living in a dealership is getting pretty slim. Don't get me wrong, I still love doing it. I just not doing it for warranty time. It's just ruthless out there. But who knows? Oh goodness, tomorrow is a big day. Big day in the NFL. Got 2 big championship games. And my Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Bengals. That ought to be a good game. I'd really like to see the Rams pull it off against the 49ers. I think that's who's playing tomorrow, the second game. But Matt Stafford's been a hell of a quarterback. Watching him, it's pretty cool. He's got a good arm, and he's made some really good plays. Mahomes for the Chiefs is just really talented. I think that they got a chance to go to the Super Bowl again. I think it would be cool to have the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl. And it'd be like it'd be like an old I-70 shootout, when the Rams used to be in St. Louis. You have an old I-70 shootout, the same way they used to do in baseball. Had the St. Louis Cardinals against Kansas City Royals. Luckily I got to actually go to a World Series game for the Royals, and that was pretty badass. I really enjoyed that. That was great. And yeah. So anyway, something I guess one of my other followers, and I think things that have been discussed on my live streams maybe at an earlier time may be affecting my channel. And has to do with the P word, and I don't want to go any further than that because we're gonna avoid discussing any of that because I think it's hurting my channel. But one of my subscribers, Mr. Lawson, said he didn't get notifications anymore when I post anything, and I kind of been noticing that myself. Some of the guys that I follow, I don't seem to get notifications from them anymore either. When they post a new video, I don't know, but I think worldly events are not something that can be discussed on a channel that you're trying to grow, because I think it hinders that growth. So, as much as we all want to discuss it and debate about it, I think it's best that we don't. Well, that's good. Mr. Lawson said that he ended up unsubscribing and resubscribing to it to see if it pops up. Now, I admit, some of the times the live streams, I'm not real good at promoting things. I'm not real good at this whole thing on social media anyway. I mean, I'm kind of old school, but I know enough to get me where I'm at here, but I'm not a good promoter by any means. And just getting videos edited to get them out there to you is a struggle one, because all my videos lately have been long. And like the one I'm doing now, I've still got 2 more clips to go on it, and I'm already over an hour. Like, there's probably an hour 15-minute long. I've gotten to the point where'd my cursor go? There it is. I've gotten to the point where when I'm doing my videos, I haven't been splitting them up. Usually what I do is on the transmissions, especially on the builds and stuff like that, I'll split sections of it up. and make shorter videos because I know a lot of people get bored with it. I get that. It's kind of one of those deals where it's not a fast thing for what I'm trying to teach. I guess that would be the main thing is since I'm teaching, you can't do a 15-minute video and just roll on. I've watched some of these other ones. Amelia Hartford's one, just because she had the world record setting C8 Corvette, and being a Chevrolet guy, I wanted to see it anyway. But you watch her videos, like I was watching one of them that she had today, and she was talking about working on her Nissan, LS swapped to Nissan, and all the things she's doing to it. And I mean, she just blazed through it. And I know a lot of those folks try to limit the videos to 15 or 20 minutes, enough to where the YouTube will pick up on it and whatever they do, and so on and so forth. But man, I don't understand it. I don't know how to do that. I really can. I can't do. Occasionally, I have a really short video, but man, it's few and far between. Of course, that makes the metrics go up too at the same time. So, at any rate, I was looking at. I just don't get. I don't get the view count. I see some of these guys doing the 4L60E videos, and they've had a video out, and it gets hundreds of thousands of views to it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong or doing right, or not putting keywords in there so YouTube picks up on it better. I'm not sure. Or if I don't know if I'm just that damn boring. Which that could be too. I mean, I'm not a young fry that's doing this. Of course, some of these guys that are doing the videos like that aren't young either. And I'm a solo show. I do the whole 9 yards. I do the recording, the production, so to speak, the editing and uploading and all that stuff. I don't have anybody to do that for me. It would be nice if I did, but it just doesn't work. I mean, I found that the channels that are more successful are ones that usually have groups in it. In other words, 2 or 3 people at the same time. And here comes the spammers. Those are so annoying. Huh. You know that now on your reporting feature, you have a button for misinformation. You also have one for promotes terrorism. Seriously. Anyway, so I got an update on my camper. I got a call the other day. Well, Stephen, I usually put down in the description box. I don't know if that's the right place to put them or not, but down in the description box, I usually have hashtags Um, and usually they'll show up in blue, but they're in the description box. They're not up in the title. And most of the time when I see them, the other videos like that, they're not hashtagged either. Um, I don't know. But anyway, back to the camper deal. So I got a call back the other day, and I got the answer I thought I was going to get, and turns out Dicor denied the claim, which I knew they would. That just a big company like that, a little peon like us, we don't stand a chance. Of course, they claim that it was lack of maintenance, which it's kind of funny how I get 13 years out of the first roof that I put on this camper, and the second one only lasts less than 5 years. Yeah, that's a line of horse crap right there. Because I got pecked by birds. That's the biggest cop out. But and that's their out. They claim that it's lack of maintenance. I mean, that's going to be their out. They can claim that on anything. Um, like I said, that's their way out of doing anything about the claim or standing behind their product. It's just that way. I mean, what do you do? So, I mean, if somebody's got some place to do it, if I had some place to do it here or shelter or anything like that, I would probably repair this camper because it's got a lot of good life left in it. It just unfortunate that it had a problem with the roof that caused water damage. I I don't have a shop to set it in or keep it out of the weather or anything like that. I mean, excuse me, it's never been an issue before. And yeah, like I said, if I had some place to do it, I would probably fix it. But I'm not going to impose on somebody else. I got a couple of friends that I know that, one in particular that he's got a nice barn, nice shop set up, but I couldn't even think about imposing on him to borrow a space or something like that because hard telling, I don't know how long it would take me to do it. Plus, it's really not a one-man job unless you got some sort of scaffolding set up all the way around the camper, which, I've got the one, it's actually a shelf in my shop right now. You've probably seen it in my shop. It's that wood shelf that I got against the wall. It's got a bunch of transmissions and stuff on it. That would work perfect as a scaffolding because I built it hell for stout. I mean, it'd have no trouble holding me and 20 other of my closest friends without even budging. But I just don't have time to do it. I really don't. Like I said, I know I could do it. That's the great thing about YouTube. Well, because they're big on the lap sealant that's on the top, Steven. I mean, if the lap sealant looks like crap or if it's dirty or something like that, they consider that lack of maintenance because you didn't clean the roof enough or something like that. Some horse crap that they just any way that they can weasel out of it. That's the way it is. Am I upset about it? Sure. I wasn't ready to give up on this camper yet. Um, Plus, it's something that we love to do. And she asked me, Dana asked me the other day, she goes, so what if we just go about it and just camping it the way it is? I'm like, well, except for all that rotten wood and stuff like that, it could probably give you have black mold growing in it or something like that, and that's not healthy. Probably make us sicker than what we really want to be, you know. But again, I mean, if I had the time, um, you know, I could fix it. I'm just really stuck. You know, I'm up in turmoil because we really can't afford another camper. You know, I could afford to buy the materials to do it. Um, yeah, Stephen, that was the next thing I thought about is just selling it as it is, as a handyman special. You know, I don't have any problem. There's, like I said, there's a ton of life left in this camper. Um, you know, only thing that doesn't work on it right, correct me. Hey, Scott, thanks for joining the party. I don't know if it's really a party, but you know, the only thing that really doesn't work on it is the furnace, and that's probably one of the limit switches is probably bad, which is common on those. They just burn out over time, and it's been going out for years. And I think it just finally got to the point where it was burnt out, and it's probably they've got. I guess from what I understand, there's two different switches, and there's one with the little blade on it that, as the air blows across it, it closes the switch and says that there's air blowing to it, and then there's also a thermal limit switch that bolts on the back of it. And how are you, Jose? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. There's been a couple other people that have mentioned to me that they're not getting the notification, and I don't know what's up with that. Like I said, I think that some of the discussions that have to do starting with the letter P, and we won't go any further than that. Um, might be hurting a channel, so that's kind of off limits. Um, so, but other than that, you know, the fridge still works on it. The inverter works fine. Water pump still works fine. It does have a heat pump on the top of it, which that it didn't come out with one. I'd replaced that unit 5 years ago now, when we were still up north, because we needed all the AC we could get. And this is supposed to be the baddest of the bad at the time that Dometic put out. So we replaced it. And I didn't realize that actually bought a heat pump, which was great because the heat pump side of it works really good. And you know, down here you really don't need a furnace. It doesn't get that cold that often. Now I say that, but of course it's going to be in the 20s down here tonight, which is cold for Florida. But yeah, everything else works good on it. Tires are decent. They're not bad, but they're aged out. I mean, they're about 7 years old, I think now. So they're due to be replaced. But the brakes work good. You know, everything else is good on it. You know, I don't know. But I think that's the way we're going to go with it. I think we're going to end up selling it. Um, like the wife said, this is we've gotten our use out of it. It's done us well for many years. You know, we've owned it since new. We bought it new, and it's an '05 model. We bought it new in '06. It was a leftover '05, and we've had it ever since. Um, No major mechanical breakdowns or anything like that. I did have to put a gas valve in the water heater because it decided to start leaking. I caught it one day. We were camping with it, and it was acting kind of funny anyway. And so when it shut off, there was still a flame coming out of the valve, and the two solenoids sit right underneath of that, of where the flame comes. Well, actually, the gas comes out. But anyway, when you went off, you'd have this little flame coming up, and it was right underneath of those two valves. So it was trying to burn the bottom of the valves on this thing. I was like, yeah, that ain't good. Probably ought to do something with that. So I found a place that while we were down there camping, and we were able to get a gas valve for it. And then I found out when I had it off that whole thing was that water heater was electric at the same time. Never knew it. The whole time we'd had the camper, I'd never known it was electric also. And the electric part of it works fantastic. Man, that's a good deal. But it's a little heavy on the electrical load. So, I mean, you got to kind of be careful when you're running if you got the AC on, you're running the electric part of the water heater, and you happen to turn the microwave on. It's a little bit too much. But anyway, yeah, it's actually got the Arctic package on it too. It's got tank heaters on it, keep the tanks warm. I used that when I was up north. Well, I really didn't have to though. Excuse me. When I was living it up there, didn't actually have to use the tanks while I was stationary because I didn't have any way to drain it anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it got us through a lot. We've been everywhere in that camper, so. The trouble is when you look at camper prices, you can't hardly touch a decent one for under 30 grand used. And I sure as heck wouldn't want a new one. Ever since all this stuff happened about 2 years ago, the quality of the products that we get are lackluster at best. The stuff I work on at work seems like it's a whole lot worse than it used to be. But, hopefully things will change. But anyway, so I got somebody else asking me down here that wants me to build a transmission for him. And he's got I think it's an 03 or 04, excuse me, Suburban. I guess he's going to put a built 6-liter in it eventually. And he wants me to build him a 4L60E that'll hold, he says, probably 500 horse, which that's not tough to do. I mean, but you are in a big, heavy vehicle. So you got to kind of take that in consideration when you're building one of these. 500 horse is about the limit for a stock input housing. even doing upgrades. Um, you can do a stock input housing with a good set of um, frictions in it, and I'm a firm believer in the Z pack. Love using those Z packs. Man, they're good stuff. Um, but anytime you get anywhere close to, or above 500 horse or in a heavy vehicle like that, you're going to have to step up the game on the input housing. You're going to have to get a better one. Either Sonex, or I guess there's a 4L79.com. They make a custom input housing that can hold the extra power, and you've got to use the five pinion planets. Something else that'll happen, you can either that, or you get the 6 pinion planet from Sonex that's like $600, which that's pretty steep. I mean, I can't see as they'd sell a whole lot of them, but Aussie rockers on YouTube on heating, you might find something interesting there. Jose, what are you referring to on the heating? I guess I'm not quite following you on that. Fill me in on it. Speaking of heat, yeah, Monday morning when I go into work, it's gonna be a cold SOB. We don't have heat at work, so it gets mighty chilly. I might be wearing this dude. I've already got another shirt underneath this. Like I said, I've been cold down here all day. I got another shirt underneath of it. All my thermal tops are dirty right now. I got to do laundry tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably be doubled up. Because the problem is you can't get, like, if I try to wear my jacket that I've got, I can't move my shoulders. Oh, Aussie Rockets. Okay, that makes sense. I'll have to look into that then. You got anybody in particular I ought to look at, Jose? Anyway, yeah, so I was talking about my camper, uh, about the furnace on the camper is what I was getting at. Um, there's some, it's got one of those suburban propane heaters or furnaces on it. And I was saying it just doesn't want to light anymore, which probably the thermal limit switches are bad. But anyhow, yeah, I got some other stuff I got to get done before take on another transmission project. Little Aussie rockets. I'll just write that down. Um, anyway, I still got to fix Bessie. Bessie has got a cooling fan that decided to start coming apart after 20 years and 280,000 miles. And I noticed when I was checking that out that the radiator's starting to seep a little bit on the right side up there at the top. So I figured, well, while I'm there, I'll put a new radiator in at the same time. Of course, I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet either. But definitely going to have to get that fixed before it gets much warmer again. So the I think the right cooling fan has got a crack in it, and it makes all sorts of ruckus when it starts up. So um, I'll probably do a video for that and throw it up here on the old channel. And since I've already got some other Bessie's stuff on there, Bertha, my pickup. So I've got the cab, and the guy that's doing the cab for me is supposed to be starting on it probably next month. I'm not looking forward to that project, but it has to be done. Um, the rockers and the cab corners are gone on literally gone on the on old Bertha, and I'm afraid that that's a pretty significant structural part of the cab, and it's what the doors rely on to latch. And the chair is going back. Steven, are you watching? Whew. It's the paranoid, or the ghostly chair. Nice. uh so yeah, I'm anxious to do another one. And I think I'm going to yeah, in fact, Yoda sees that blanket. She goes, "Oh, someplace warm to lay. I'm gonna check this out. Maybe I'll curl up on this dude." Oop, is anybody watching me? Is anybody watching me? Yeah, maybe I'll curl up here. Well, let's see. Can I make it? Can I make it for myself here? Yep, this may not be too bad. I think she's done. I think she's parked. Um, yeah, and here before too long, I think I'm going to start building. I've got to order some more parts because I used the last Z pack I had on the goodness. I think I'm going to start building one of the options that I'm going to have. I used the last Z pack on fixing CJ's truck just because I had one here. I had all the parts here for the one I was going to build. And I figured you probably were, Steven. Scott, how's your IROC coming? Well, it's still sitting back there. I haven't had a chance to work on it much, so had other things pressing. And lately they've been running me to death at work. And it's one thing about my particular job, I'm usually never out of work. There's always a transmission breaking. I have a feeling I'm going to start seeing a bunch of the 8L90s come in under warranty. They're finally putting them in the 3/4 ton express vans with the V6. They use them for work vans all the time. And I've got one in there that's kind of doing some funky stuff. I think it's going to take a tear down. It's probably got a broken wave plate or something like that in one of the clutches because it hammers a couple of gears. But I got another one. It's believe it or not, it's a 21. The thing has got 6,000 miles on it, and the transmission's just smoked. I haven't got it opened up yet. I plan on doing that on Monday. Find out what happened on that dude. It had to have been something that was bad from the factory. Either a seal got cut and it made it this far and it finally let loose. I don't know. Because it's not like it's got a whole ton of power in front of it. It's got that 2.7 liter turbo 4. And then I got another one that just came in. I think it's a 21 also. It's got 4,000 miles on it, but it's got the 3 liter Duramax in it with a 10 speed. And I guess it's grinding, making all sorts of noise. So I have no idea. Just kind of strange. But, seems like to me anything that happened after this big old mess that we've had, the quality of the products that coming out, it's not been there. So not only is it hard to get things fixed, but it's hard to get parts. The quality's down. But yeah, my IROC's still sitting back there. I sure would like to get working on it. Sure wish I had some more time. I've got 2 of them back there that are just calling my name. I just want to get them done. But I got a donor back there I want to get back running too, and I'm going to have some more stuff coming up on that. And I can't promise you when, but I'm still trying to get that donor running. I know that starter that's on there I've been having trouble with for you to get it to turn over on a normal basis. And when I had it off the last time, the cables weren't in the greatest of shape. So I went in and just picked up a new starter. And instead of going back with the original one, there is a company that I found on, I think it was Amazon, but I used one of their products on, actually 2 occasions. I used it on an alternator. On an alternator for Bertha and a starter for Bertha. It's a company called DB Electrical, David Boy Electrical. And most of the time their stuff's new, and I'm sure it's made overseas. But I've been impressed with their stuff so far. fact, I bought a starter for the wife's Toyota, and it turned out not needing it. But I got one just in case. And so I picked up an LT1 starter um, for the for Scarlett, and the LT1 starter will work because um, the LT1s and the L98s and the Camaros and the Firebirds and that kind of stuff, they all used 153 tooth ring gear for the starter flywheel. If you had 168 tooth ring gear, which is used on all the R motors um, and the M motors, the late models from like 96 to 2001, something like that, those were a different starter. They were still what they call a permanent magnet, which is a gear reduction starter. They're only about that big around. They're about half the size of one of those big old 10MT starters. And it ought to whirl it over pretty good because that big old starter was drawing a lot of amperage too. Every time I would work on the donor and I'd have to crank it over a little bit, them cables would get pretty warm. So yeah, that flywheel better be 153 tooth, Scott. If it's 168, you won't be able to use an LT1 starter because it won't be right. So if you got 168 tooth ring gear, you'll have to use the R motor starter, and it'll bolt right on. A 377 stroker, huh? There you go. Yeah, I'd like to put a stroker in. All right, Jose. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Take care and have a good week. I'd like to put a 383 in Scarlet. It just depends on how the funds go when it comes time to get there. Like I said, I want to get the donor running since it's a 350. Scott, the donor that I got is actually 89 IROC. So it's basically the same thing that you got, only it's in a Chevrolet badge instead of a Pontiac. I had a 91 formula. In fact, on my outro video, on the outro part of the videos, that white formula that was in there is exactly what I had. Well, there you go. You must have got a 350 that was in decent shape. But yeah, I'd like to get that donor running. I got to get the fuel rail back together. I had to get some new injectors, and of course the tank's rotten in it, and I've got that solved. If you've seen any of the other videos on it, I made a portable fuel cell. I just haven't had time to get back at it. I've been so busy doing everything else, just trying to stay afloat. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that had a 5 liter 5 speed uh, TPI formula, and that dude was freaking quick. Uh, it ran real strong. Um, I always like the formulas because of the wheels. The wheels on the formula are just beautiful. I like that the turbine wheel that they got on the 16-inch turbine wheels. I even like the Trans Ams that had them, the 85s and the 86s. I think they used them on 84s too. I can't remember, but um, they weren't inset like the later model ones. There was no boy down here that had a 91 that was formula that was for sale. That was the jade green. Man, I would have loved to be able to get that car, but I got enough projects the way it is. Um, like I said, I got so much to do. Just I'd really just like to not have to work and be able to do all the stuff I want to do, and put it out there on YouTube land. But YouTube don't pay the bills, that's for sure. It's more of a fun thing for me for teaching. Um, the only thing I really get out of it is the satisfaction that I'm able to give somebody some knowledge that might help them. Sometimes I still make mistakes, um, but the idea behind the channel is to be able to put the information out there, and hopefully somebody will learn something from it. Things that I've gone through in the past when I'm working on them. One thing on these newer transmissions, when you do dealership repairs, um, a lot of times if you have to replace something, it's as a component. Um, like case bushings, for instance. If you got a bushing that's bad in a hard part, or a case bushing, if you got a case bushing bad, you replace the whole case, because then the bushing will be pressed in. Hard part, it'll come with the bushings pressed in them already, which you don't have to replace them. So damn spam bullshit. Anyway, hey, if you haven't already, if you're out there and you're still listening, give me a thumbs up, would you? I would appreciate it. Help me spread the video out. I get some more subscribers. And if any of y'all are the subscribers that have helped me get to where I'm at, I greatly appreciate it. It sure means a lot. It means that I've got something out there that's worth something to somebody. But speaking of which, I was going over the videos the other day, and one video I didn't think that would do that good is actually probably one of my most popular videos, and that was the one on the cluster diagnosis on a older pickup. Thanks, Purple Border Collie. That thing is done really well, and I'm surprised, but I mean, it's something common that happens with those clusters. I mean, it's just the way it is. I've had some people ask me about later model clusters, the newer body style pickups, And I can honestly say that I hadn't had to do a whole lot on the later model ones like the '07 and a half up. I haven't had to do a whole lot with those clusters, so I don't know all the ins and outs of those. I'll be honest with you there. Yeah, Scott, I'm going to do another one because Scarlet came with a 700R4, and I'm actually going to build it up. That'll be in an upcoming video once I get time to get some parts and get some other things going. I'm going to try to get some things done on the donor. I've got some new ignition parts for the donor, and I got to get it back together and see if I can get that old dude to burn some fuel. I had to steal the ECM out of Scarlet because the one in the donor was dead, and I really want to get a hold of that. The laptop. What am I thinking of? The laptop or the cable for the OBD cable for the laptop and the Tuner RT Pro. I want to get that stuff for reading Scarlet. I've got an old Matco Determinator, which is basically the Genesis, but the technology on that thing is so bad. It's so slow. Oh my goodness, it's slow. I wish there was a way to update it where it got a lot faster, but it's it's slower than a 7-year itch. It works pretty good, but it's slower than a 7-year itch. And it's got some deal with it, and I don't know if it's because the battery's bad in it, but it takes forever to load. But once you get it there, it works just fine. It's just so slow. Yeah, Scott, that was common on a 204R. They had their own fair share of issues, but I mean, for the most part, they were a decent transmission. And well, shoot, the Grand National guys were using them for a long time. They'd make the modifications and they'd hold up some pretty decent power. I can't remember. There were some things that were just slightly different on those. I want to say the pump was different on it. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've been in one of those. The old 350 turbo had a G rotor style pump in it. The 700s were a vane style. I think the 204Rs were vane style pumps also. But a lot of the guys like the 204Rs because the spread between first and second wasn't as huge as the 700 is. The 700s get that 308-to-1 first gear ratio, so it's nothing like the 6L80s. The 6L80s have got a 402 or 403-to-1, something like that, first gear. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking is the 7 vane. The pumps were way underdeveloped, I should say. they definitely needed more pressure. That's the same thing they had problems with the 700s when they first come out. They come out with a 700 in 83, 82 or 83. I think it was 83. It may have been 82 in a Corvette. But the first models of those were terrible for pumps. And I think they used that up until 86. And then 87, they went to a 10 vein pump. And they started getting a lot better. That's also the same year they used, in 87, they used the auxiliary valve body, which all it really was is it held the Ford accumulator to make it a little smoother on engagement. Yeah, I would. I'd definitely do that. The 700s I built, I put 13 vein pumps in those. I've been blasted both ways for doing that because maybe it's overkill. But the one thing that the 700s had an issue with too was they would have a fluttering boost valve and most of that was caused by the pump flow. So the 13 vein pump would smooth out that flow along with like a 490 boost valve. It helps quite a bit. But as far as I know, L to the W's is still going strong. Excuse me. 700, I built him. I don't know that he's really got on it though, on that car. I know he said he did once or twice, and he said it was pretty stout when it got up there and shifted, which is what I built it for, His car is really nice too. I think he was talking a couple of times whether or not he was going to sell a bunch of his cars, or a couple of his cars anyway. I don't know if that was going to be one of them that he was going to sell, but it sure is a nice car. Really nice. It's a 91. And so it's a pretty car. I guess they have some get-togethers down here of third-gen owners. Oh, yeah. I use the load springs on all of them. It just keeps it from having the hydraulic coupling issue on high speed. Now, if it was a stock, like it was a grandma's ride or something like that, you could probably get away with leaving those out. But I put them in all my builds. I don't leave those load springs out. Steven, I don't know if he is for not. He just said he was going to sell some cars. I don't know if that was one of them that he was going to sell. I know that'd be a car to get if you had the extra money. I don't, but it's a pretty nice car. He's been working with Brian from Tune to Performance, I think is what he said the guy's name was, that been helping him get a chip burnt for it. And I think he finally got one that's that's working. I think it would be harder on his year. I think it would be harder to tune one that's got a map sensor instead of a mass airflow. Because mass airflow, you can tune for loads and air density and all that other stuff, where map sensor, you're relying solely off of manifold pressure or vacuum, if you will. But I think it would be easier if it had the mass airflow sensor on it. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't use a later model one, which that may be something to consider. Because I know those early model Bosch mass airflows had an issue, but as long as they're working, they worked fine. You're right. Sugar, why don't you get a drink, girl? Goodness. Yeah, but I know in one of his videos or something like that, he had mentioned something like he was going to possibly sell some cars. Yeah, she had something tickling her throat, that's for sure. I don't know if he will or not. He's been getting ready to do, or I don't know, in the process of doing an Appalachian Trail hike, doing all the way through, and I was like, man, that's a hike. I knew I couldn't do that. Although there's lots of places I'd like to see. While I still can. Excuse me. That's why that's why I'm gonna miss it if we get rid of the camper, because I mean, I literally would love to just take off and just go do some sightseeing and some hiking and camping, and I don't know. I don't know what life's got in store for me. I just keep getting up and doing my thing every day. So it's all we can do. Getting anxious. One of these days here pretty soon, I'm going to get the door cut in my shop. I can't wait. Get the door cut. I might actually be able to get Scarlett in there and be able to work on it and have light in there and all sorts of good stuff. I gave up on getting my roof done after I about died with this guy gave me an estimate for fixing my roof on my shop. The amount of price he gave me, I could almost put up a whole 30 by 50 metal building for that. But little things at a time. Excuse me. Yeah, it had one there at one time, Stephen, and in fact the pad is still there in front of the what used to be the door, and they put concrete block. They concrete blocked the rest of it up. I don't know why they want to do that, but I think the guy that was in there before was a woodworker. and so he did a lot of woodworking. And I don't see why you would actually want that door in there anyway, but it sure makes it a pain in the butt, and it's big enough to be a garage, and I think that's what it was originally built for. Um, but the local company here was supposed to get me another bid on one of those roll up doors, and she never got back with me, and I never got an email. At least I don't remember seeing an email. I don't know if she would have sent it to my one of my other email addresses that I don't use a whole lot. No, I don't see anything. Man, the amount of junk mail that you get anymore is just ridiculous. I'm about ready to shut this email address down anyway. That's just crazy. In one day, I got 3 dozen junk emails. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I don't see anything in there, and I don't know if it would have showed up in my junk mailbox or not, but it's like you get onto something, and then all of a sudden you just get bombarded with all this extra BS junk, um, from all these companies that you really didn't want to have anything to do with to begin with. Crazy, I tell you. But anyway, so let's see. What else new have I got? Phew. I can't think of anything else right at the moment. Life is good. We're still alive. We just live to speak another day tomorrow. What is the picture? That picture of that. Is that supposed to be a cow, Steven? Life is good. It beats the alternative. Of course, I don't know what the alternative is, and I don't want to find out anytime soon. But yeah, life is good. You know, there's definitely alternatives to things. So tomorrow's another day. Obviously, tomorrow's never promised, but all I can say is you got to take care of your loved ones. Give them a squeeze, even though if they don't want one. You know, love your loved ones. Pick up the phone and call your folks if you're away from them. Just let them know that you're thinking about them. If you got siblings, hang on to them, because I don't have my sister anymore. I don't have my dad either, and I really miss my dad. I think he got his apartment in the sky a little too early. Steven, I do. That's one I'm working on editing. I'm not quite done with it. I'll probably have to finish it up in the morning, but yeah, I should have one out tomorrow. That's the plan anyway. We know how plans work. I got to go to the grocery store in the morning and spend money. Speaking of which, man, have you seen the store shelves lately? Whew. Man, they're getting bad. Getting bad. You know, we caught ground beef when it was on sale a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And it was a ground chuck, 80/20 ground chuck. I had it on sale for $2.99 a pound. Meat guy comes out. I go, so how long does the sale go on? He says, for a day. It says, just this is the last day. It says, is there a limit on this? He goes, nope. I says, 10-4. I ended up coming home with 48 pounds of ground beef. You know, I just happened to have the extra money, and we were completely out. And what I do is I vacuum pack it and I put it in the freezer. And that way it lasts, and you know, we'll eat on it as we need it. But of course, now it's back up to $6 a pound, which is ridiculous. You know, I really feel sorry. You know, I got to say we are really blessed. We really are. You know, things could be a lot worse for us. We're blessed. We're fortunate. You know, we have a roof over our heads. We have warm clothes to be in. We've got each other. I got my four-legged furry friends, which are kids, since we never had any. You know, things could be a lot worse. Luckily, I have a job that supports the family. The wife has finally got work, and she actually likes the job she's doing. And she's working 6 days a week. She's not doing 8-hour shifts, though. She's doing 6 days a week, though. And she really likes it. And I'm just so proud of her. She's been struggling finding some place that she likes. And it's real close to home, so she's not but 7 miles away from work. Me, I'm 25 miles away, but it's really not that bad. I'm used to driving it anymore anyway. Things could be worse. Um, I could say I got my health, but my health isn't the greatest sometimes. But I'm breathing. I'm upright. I've got my faith. I'm good with that. I sure miss my dad though. Still got my mom though. Still got my mom. I I haven't been looking just the other day. I wanted to see what the housing market was doing. Um, because I know everybody's been saying it's a seller's market. And from what I've been seeing, that's exactly right. Um, I looked at one of my houses. Well, it was my first house that I'd ever bought. When I bought it, it was back in 90, 98 or 99. I think it was 99 is when I bought it. And I paid $52,000 for it. And I lived in it until the wife and I met. Then I sold it, and I moved in with her. But that same house, like I said, I bought it for 52,000. That same house, uh, last time it was sold was 2019, which would have been 20 years later. It sold for $148,000. I'm like, holy crap! That's 3 times what it was when I bought it. House prices back up home. Holy crap! I about fell out of my chair. And Stephen, to answer your question, the gas prices are on the way up. When I got gas the other day, I still run the no ethanol. If it starts making a big leap, I'm going to have to quit doing that. Yeah, I'm sure, Stephen. California house prices are just ridiculous anyway. When I stopped the other day to get gas, it was $3.35 a gallon for regular unleaded, which is 87 octane here. The no ethanol is 90 octane, and it was $3.99 a gallon. It's been staying pretty steady, the no ethanol, but they're on their way back up, so I knew that was coming. Well, that's not astronomical, Stephen. I thought it was like $7 a gallon out there. That's what I've been hearing anyway. Oh, goodness gracious. $3.35 in West Virginia. Yeah, that's the same price here, Scott, so it just must be in a certain part of California that it was 7 something, because they were talking about that on the old boob tube the other day. But Like I said, unfortunately, I'm blessed enough to where we can still put gas in the cars and still put food on the table, and um, I've got this, and that's kind of my way out. Like I said, past events that we've spoke of on this channel, I think may be hurting the channel. I'm gonna go back and go through all my live streams and probably have to edit those stuff out and see if it doesn't help any, because I know they'd pick up on that stuff. So, at any rate, well, this old boy's getting tired. Um, I think it's time for me to hit the sack. I gotta get the kids out one more time, and tomorrow's a new day. Last Sunday of the month before next month, obviously. So, again, I appreciate everybody out there. I really do. Um, I really, 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 really do appreciate it. I know I'm not the most popular guy, but maybe someday. Um, but with that being said, it's so important that you guys take care of each other, take care of yourself. God bless you, and God bless America. We'll talk to y'all later.